right, hello guys. Welcome to our last but not least episode of the Kitchen Chemistry. Today I will be demoing the paper marbling activity that you guys have had. So if you, I know you've had it for a few days now, but if you get stuck or you're not sure about something or you want to just look and see what it does, how I did it, then you can watch this. All right, materials. I'm not going to do the food coloring in the water or putting a dot on the note card part of it. I'm just going to do the actual marbling of the paper part of it. So materials, I have shaving cream. It's like cheap. This one has like sensitive skin, whatever, doesn't really matter. Just like the cheap foamy shaving cream stuff. A ruler or a paint stick, something like that. I have food coloring. I have popsicle sticks or toothpicks or anything, literally anything you could drag through shaving cream to kind of make designs and whatever. It could be a pencil, to be honest. I have I've got a couple of sheets of cardstock, and I've got a couple of note cards here. You want to use something a little thicker than regular paper because the paper will absorb some of the shaving cream in it, and it gets a little bit wet. And if you use regular paper, it usually can start tearing because it's too thin. So I also have a pan to put the shaving cream in. You can use something like this. You can use a baking dish, something like that. And then I've also, can I put it down here so you can see? I also put down some wax paper, something like that to keep the counter clean, and also to, when you go to remove it from this, you need somewhere to set the paper to clean it off, right? And it's also a good idea to have a trash bag. Trash bag or something nearby to put everything into. So loop that back behind me. All right. Okay. So this is take 2. I did not like how that last shaving cream looked, so we're gonna try this again. So what you do is you take your pan or whatever and you put the shaving cream on it, approximately enough to cover an area the size of your paper or your note card or whatever you're going to use to put in it. You don't want it really thick, just kind of enough to cover it to maybe like 1/4 of an inch or something like that. So you're going to take shaving cream. There we go. Looks much better. Okay. And let's see. Okay. Once you get the shaving cream down and on, you can see there's still some gaps and holes and stuff. So I'm just going to take, and even if there's not, I'm going to take the ruler or your paint stick or whatever, and all you're going to do is just smooth it out. You want to create kind of a smooth surface. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, but just enough so you can drop the food coloring on it and make some designs. So okay, so something like that. Now, and you probably want to do this somewhere near a sink or something so you can rinse your hands, and you're going to need to rinse the ruler off a couple of times. So, all right. Now all I'm going to do is get some food coloring and we're going to drop it in different spots. Just so keeping in mind, you can always add more food coloring. You really can't take any away. All right, so something like that. Then all you're gonna do is take your popsicle stick or your toothpick or whatever you're using. You can use the ruler or the paint stick if you want to. And you're just going to drag it through and swirl and make a design. Okay, design doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you want to try to make a certain design, you can. If you want to try to write something, you can. But just kind of swirl it through. Okay, you're not trying to mix it. Okay, you're not trying to mix it and get everything the same. You're trying to kind of just drag through and drag the food coloring and sort of make a design. All right, so keeping in mind that whatever it looks like to your eye here is essentially what it's going to transfer to your paper. So I've got a design. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cardstock. You can, do this with ink or with note cards as well if you want, but I'm going to take my cardstock and make sure that you have your ruler all cleaned off. Or that. Okay, so, well, like I said, make sure you have your ruler all cleaned off. And what you're going to do is take your cardstock, press it down, and when you press it down, make sure you press it down all parts of it, okay, through the whole thing. You want to make sure that all of the cardstock is touching the shaving cream, okay? Now, after you do that, then all you're gonna do is I'm gonna move this then, here, hold on. So I'm gonna move this out of the way and I'm gonna pick it up and try to give you a view of what we're doing. So I'm gonna pick it up off the shaving cream, It's gonna look like this. And I'm just gonna set it onto your area. Hopefully that you've put something down so it doesn't get messy underneath. Then what you do, and you can see, hold on, before I do this, I'm gonna show you. So you can see on mine that I missed a couple of spots. They're gonna be white, which is fine. But that's why you wanna press it down all over to get the pattern on there. Okay, so let me get this. All right, then you're gonna take your ruler and you're just gonna gently hold one end of the paper with your fingertips. And you're gonna take the ruler and about 45-degree angle like this, and you're just gonna drag it. Don't press like super hard, but you wanna press hard enough to you're basically scraping the shaving cream off. Okay. All right, now you don't wanna go back like this because then it's gonna leave lines on there. So I'm just gonna rinse it off, rinse it and dry it. So I rinse and dry my ruler, or paint stick, or whatever you're using. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna kind of get other parts of it that I didn't. Now, don't press super hard, okay? Because if you press too hard, I'm just gonna flip it and use the clean edge here. If you press too hard, then what you're gonna start to do is you're gonna start to tear the paper, okay? So, and you can see that we're revealing the pattern underneath. Okay. And then I'm just gonna really gently go around one last time and kind of clean up my edges. Okay. Stuff like that. Now if there's a little bit left in certain spots, that's okay. After it dries, it'll just kind of flake off. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you have your paper. Okay, and then you can just let this, you can just leave this off to the side and let it dry. You're gonna wanna let it dry before you do anything with it, right on it, whatever, because it's still got it's still a little damp. Okay, but that's your paper. Now, so that's pretty much it. Just to show you something though, so this is my tray after I've already done the one. And what I just want to show you is that whatever your tray looks like, that's what the pattern is going to be on your paper. So like if I press this, like see how this is kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, like it's almost kind of watercolor-ish, right? So if I take this ink card, this note card, and I press it down, let's find a good spot, maybe right here. Okay. Pull it up. Okay. Note cards are a little more difficult because, as you can see, it curls. It's a little hard to hold down, so I take that and I scrape down. You can see how it's like, it's sort of the same. It's sort of that washed out, fuzzy look to it, right? Now, here's one more tip. If you saw my this first picture, you can see how it's still got a little bit of a fuzzy look to it. If you want a really sharp look, you can get that. You just have to do your, you just have to put it in and get it out like really fast. So I'm gonna reset and then I'll show you guys if you want like a really sharp look to it, I will do that next. Hey everybody, all right, we're back. So I'm not gonna do the whole big sheet part of it again, I'm just gonna do a little, this should be enough to show you. So I'm gonna do one that shows you kind of how to get a really, like more of a sharp look rather than the fuzzier it is. So I've got my shaving cream down, I'm gonna add some food coloring, a few different color drops. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, now, same thing. I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna okay, so I've got it mixed. Now, if you want the design on your paper to be like what I think of as like more sharp, it's about the amount of time you let it sit on the paper itself. So the last one, through the explanation and stuff, I kind of let sit there for a little while. So this one, I'm gonna kind of set it up ahead of time so I can do it quickly, but essentially what you wanna do is you wanna do the transfer and the scrape off pretty quickly. So I'm gonna press, let's see if I can, okay, so I'm gonna press this in here and make sure you get it all pressed down, and then I'm gonna transfer it, pull it, transfer it, get the ruler, and I'm gonna scrape off quickly. Okay, and I'm gonna make sure my ruler edge is clean. Okay, so you can see on this, I'm gonna get a little bit of paper towel here to get some of the residue off of off the rest of it. Okay, you can see on this now, see how that's just like the look of it is a lot more sharp. So what you see in the shaving cream is what the design you're gonna get, and the quicker you, I got some of my fingers, that's what all that's from. But, and the quicker you get, you press it in and then take the ruler and scrape it off, the sharper it will be. If you leave it on, the longer you leave it on there, essentially the more time the ink has to sink in and spread, and you'll get more of a watercolory look. All right. Now, the last thing, and this I am going to show you guys, is the idea of, okay, if you take, after you're done, You take the shaving cream you have, and I saved the stuff from the last one, so I'm going to add that to it here. So you take the shaving cream, and you can add some more food coloring to it if you want, if you're going to think you're going to maybe need some more. I'm going to add some stuff that I have got a lot of green. Okay. Now you're actually going to mix it. You're going to mix it together so it's all one color. Okay. So we're getting kind of a dirty gray color going on here. Every time I do this, it reminds me of frosting, but don't eat it. It will not taste nearly as good. Okay, let's see, some more of that. All right, I'm gonna kind of smooth it out a little bit on the top here, just so you can kind of see. All right, we all good? I'm gonna move that over. All right. Now, you can do this with anything. You can use a spoon, just a cup and kind of pouring the water on it. I actually have, which I'm grabbing right now, I actually have pipettes here with me. I know you guys don't have access to that, but I have a pipette, so I'm just going to use that. Anything to drop water on it. So if you can see, let me make sure this is in the picture here. Maybe if I come down over the top a little more too. Okay. So watch what happens when we drop water onto it. Okay. Turns white again. Right, now if you scrape that off, underneath, still gray. You can try it again. What happens if we add more water? Okay, we get, if you mix it in, if you look, so that's for the last part of the activity. Like looking and seeing what you think is going on when that turns, when you drop water into the shaving cream with the food coloring. Why is it turning white like that? All right? When you go to do cleanup, and please clean up, we don't need your parents picking up after you. When you go to do your cleanup, throw most of the shaving cream into the trash. It will go down the sink with water, but it's just easier if you throw most of the shaving cream into the trash, so you don't have to throw as much water down the sink and stuff like that. Put most of it into the trash, and then you can wash off whatever you have left over with just water. It'll rinse off and clean off like that. All right. Well, I hope you guys have fun. I hope you enjoy this, test it out. Maybe do something with your siblings. Have some fun with it. And I hope that you all are staying safe and healthy and happy. And hopefully I will see you guys all again next year. Bye, guys.